Hey crew, how's everyone doing? Can you all hear
Hey.
me okay? Just give me a thumbs up, a hello, something. If I didn't catch you on the way in, if I didn't mute you on the way in, please just make sure you mute yourselves. I hope you all had an awesome weekend. So if you're new to the call this afternoon rather, then do me a favor and just make sure that you're aware that down the bottom you've got the reactions tab. So if you want to ask a question or if I ask you to engage somehow, just raise a hand, give me a thumbs up, give me an emoji or something. There we go. Thanks, Steph. I appreciate it. Thank you for playing. All right, so we've got a little bit to get through this afternoon. This is basically the third part of the four-part program or workshop on our mindset, our motivation, our habits, all of the internal structure, right? That makes this possible, makes our journey possible. So just to sort of recap, I know some of you are joining us sort of like halfway through. So in week one, we went through basically cultivating a growth mindset, right? So we were working on developing the right mindset for success. Then in week two, we jumped into staying motivated. So essentially how to stay motivated. And now for week three, we're jumping into building self-identity. All right, so the building of self-identity is what we're going to get stuck in today. But before we do that, what are the wins for the week? Anyone got some wins they want to share? Something, someone? Mel, got a win? Either Mel. Hold on. Wait, I'm you. There we go. You got me? Come on here.
There we go.
There we
Okay,
go.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
All
got you.
right. I did lots. I meal prepped this weekend. I did a ton of laundry.
Awesome.
I didn't make it to the gym, but I did today.
Nice. All
So
right, good stuff. Awesome stuff. Well done. Sarah, you got a win for us?
Well, I went out of town yesterday and found my way into a store and basically was going to buy socks, but I came out with more than just socks. So,
Okay.
um, no, it's nice to be able to look at smalls and mediums versus double XLs and two XLs and three XLs and stuff
Nice.
like that. So it's, yeah,
That's a big win. That's awesome.
yep.
Good stuff. All right. So that kind of ties into self-identity, right? So a big part of this journey for everyone is understanding that the person that kind of got you into this state is not the same person that's going to get you out of this state, right? So you can't expect your old habits, your old mindset, the old ways of thinking, of ways of how to operate your day are going to be the same ways that get you out of that day or out of that space you're in. So this theme for today's conversation is nurturing a positive self-identity. So there's essentially 3 dot points we're going to cover and then a little bit of homework at the end. Before we dive into this, did everyone get their vision board done? Get some thumbs up, some no's, some yeses. We'll get it done. Okay, good stuff. All right, cool. So when it comes to defining self-identity, what it is and how it kind of works, right? So our belief system and the way that we think essentially build our identity. So the way that we think of ourselves and the way that we see ourselves is essentially the identity and the persona or the person that we put out to the public. One of the things that's really interesting is when you've been on this journey for some time and you've seen some success, often the things that we believe at the beginning of the journey aren't true at all when we reach our goal or when we reach a certain milestone or marker, right? For some of us, it might be something like, I can never lose weight because I've been overweight for our entire life, or I've been fat my entire life, or I've been unhealthy my entire life, or my whole family's been unhealthy. And then once you lose the weight or you become fitter or you become the fittest person in your family, what happens, it's not just the fact that you've changed physically, but it's also the way that you see the world and the way that you see yourself has changed quite dramatically. One of the things that's really important to understand is that the only way you're going to be able to see success and then maintain success on this journey is by changing the way that you see yourself. So a really cool experiment with this, and I speak about this all the time, is your future version of you, or the superhero version of you, the person that's further down the track, right? The person that makes better decisions, better habits, has better choices, has better standards. They see themselves in a different light, right? So if you see yourself as an athlete that has a non-negotiable program in the morning, or an athlete that sort of takes care of their sleep pattern and the nutrition, if you see yourself as someone that puts their health before anything else, or their mindset before anything else, what tends to happen is the body is going to follow that, right? So it's much like having a blueprint to a house or having a blueprint to a building. If the construction company builds to that blueprint, then that building is going to look like that blueprint, right? But what often happens is our blueprint to ourselves doesn't quite match the expectations that we have. So, you know, if a construction company came in and just kind of did whatever they want and didn't really follow the blueprint, didn't follow what they were meant to be doing, the house or the building is not going to look anything like that blueprint, right? The cool thing about this is that we are able to adjust and change that blueprint as we want. So if we want to see ourselves as, for example's sake, if I wanted to see myself, or if I wanted to be a figure ice skater, right? I would have to think, sleep, have my thought processes and everything in alignment with that to then end up with that result. So this is the same when it comes to our health and fitness journey, is the way that we see ourselves, our self-identity, how we identify with ourselves on this planet would dictate whether we're going to have success on this journey or not. If we see ourselves as overweight, if we see ourselves as unhealthy, if we see ourselves as unable to accomplish this, if we can't see ourselves climbing the mountain, then we're never going to be able to do it. The trick with this entire journey, with this weight loss journey, with this fitness journey, the only magic pill I've ever come across is self-belief. If you believe that you can do it, if you believe that you can accomplish it, whether it's just losing 5 pounds, or it's becoming the fittest person in your family, or it's becoming a better chef or a better cook at home so you can cook better meals for your family. If you believe you can do it, then you can accomplish it. And I know that saying is overdone and overused, but trust me, it all starts there. Because if you've got no self-belief with this, then all the hard work you're putting in, you might see a little bit of success, but your body's just going to go back to the water level, right? Where your mind is, where your brain is, where your internal conversation is. So on this journey, one thing I really want you to lean on is everyone on this call, and if you're rewatching it, everyone in the group or on the program are at different stages of this program. Some of you, like Carol last week, right? She hit her goal of losing 50 pounds, right? And I think it was Ash the week before that lost 65 pounds, right? So you have all seen people do it, and these people are no different to you. Yes, they come from different parts of the country. Yes, they might be different ages, but they all have you guys all have pretty similar bodies. You guys all have pretty similar stories. And there's nothing that they did any way different to what you can do to achieve what you're trying to achieve, right? So if you're just starting out, or if you're struggling, or if you hit a plateau, they've done it. So use them as proof, right? They've done it. They stuck to it. So you can do it as well. All right. Any takeaways from that, Steph? Sarah?
No, I think, sorry, I was double muted.
No, that's right.
I mean, it's so true, because everything begins with a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to not only rejuvenate your physical body, but you have to renew your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what I take away from it, is that in order, because I'm just starting out for like the second or third time, just because I wasn't in the right mindset. And so, like you said, you might see some success, but a lasting success is what you want. And so you have to build that firm foundation. If not, it'll crumble.
Yeah, 100%. Well said. That's really well said. So when it comes to the way that you see yourself and the image that you paint for yourself, this is why I wanted everyone to do the vision boards last week, is because you need to see yourself at the finish line with this. I say finish line, but let's just say the next goal you're trying to accomplish, right? When an athlete goes to the Olympics, or when someone is in the boxing ring, they spend time every single day sitting down peacefully and quietly and imagining themselves at the finish line, or holding up their boxing glove as they knock out the champ, or whatever the case is, right? You have to spend time every single day by yourself, with yourself, working on this image of you hitting the finish line, of you losing those 50 pounds, or you losing the 20 pounds, whatever it is. But you need to spend time with yourself imagining that. The cool thing about our subconscious and the cool thing about our mind is our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what it perceives to be reality. It releases the same chemicals, it releases the same endorphins, it releases essentially the same emotions as if it was physically in front of us. This is why, when we get stressed out, we have the ability to get stressed out by something physical, like a tiger chasing us, or stressed out by an email on the computer. Our brain doesn't know the difference between what is stressing us out. Obviously, we know the difference, but it releases the same hormones, it releases the same stress hormones. It puts us through the same cycles, right? So now if we flip that and use it for a positive, we can start to essentially build the future version of us and what we're going to look like, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to be like when we cross that finish line. All right. So talking about that, and this is going to be part of your homework. Essentially, this is called the theater of mind. So the theater of mind is, like I said, a moment or a slice of time in the future that is your finish line, whatever that is for you. The moment that you're going to realize that you've made it, so to speak. So if we're just using, for example, say, an Olympian, their slice of time or their theater of mind that they know that they've made it is them standing on the podium getting the gold medal. So in that moment, they're going to be able to hear the crowd. They're going to be able to feel what it feels like after they've won the race, feeling what that gold medal feels like to go over the head, shaking the person's hand, who's going to be on the podium next to them, who they're going to look at in the crowd, with extreme detail. So your homework this week is to work on your theater of mind. So you're going to write a page in detail of what the day or the moment will be like when you know you've had that finish line crossing or that light bulb moment or that aha moment. So Sarah, I'm just picking on you because you spoke about it before. It could just be something like Sarah experienced, right? She walked into the shop. She managed to buy something that wasn't in the bigger sizes that she's used to buying. She could have felt the clothing that she bought. She could have known what shop she was going into. She could have known who she's with, what time of day, what it looked like outside, if it was sunny, if it was hot, whatever it is, if it was cold, if it was windy, what she was wearing, what she bought, what she did before, what she did after. The more that you can paint that image, and the more that you can meditate on that image every single day, the more it's going to become a reality for you. Of course, it won't be exact. There might be days that will be different, or person that was with you might be different, or you might be wearing a slightly different outfit. But in totality, we're looking for that finish line, that theater of mind, something we're working towards. All right. Does that all kind of make sense? Yep. Perfect. All right, so we're going to jump into the second dot point. This is about body positivity and self-love. All right, so this is going to be a little bit of different view on it, and I want you just to bear with me because it's sometimes a confronting way to look at it. Our subconscious knows how much we truly love ourselves by how much we take care of it and how much we take care of ourselves. If we're eating like rubbish, if we're skipping the bedtime we should be going to bed, if we're not drinking enough water, if we're not talking to ourselves in a kind way, our subconscious is recording this all the time. So often it's really difficult for a lot of people to change on this journey because they don't believe that they deserve to change. Either they're not happy with themselves and haven't been happy with themselves for a really long time, and their subconscious has recorded this. So not only are they trying to understand how to eat, understand how to track macros, understand how to train, but they're also fighting their subconscious. So when it comes to body positivity and self-love, and this is why I get you ladies to do the love letter every single month, is because we have to try and mend that relationship with our subconscious. If you can imagine 20, 30, 40, 50 years of a friend or a colleague that you've had, but you've spoken to them poorly, you've broken promises to them, you've treated them like rubbish, and now you expect them to be on your side. So now we have to try and change that relationship, right? So when it comes to your self-love, your body positivity, again, a little bit of your homework this week is every single day this week, you're going to talk about yourself in the positive. At the end of the day, you're going to write down 3 positive things about yourself physically. So there has to be 3 things you can find about yourself that you like, you love, you enjoy. Can be your height, can be your eye color, your hair color, whatever. But you have to start to work on the relationship you have with yourself. You have to start to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, your subconscious remembers this and makes it really difficult to get away from that negative self-talk. Because what tends to happen is, as soon as something goes wrong, as soon as we get too stressed out, as soon as we have a shitty day, the first thing that we do is we tend to take it out on ourselves. Say things like, Adam, you're never going to be able to do this. Adam, you can't do this. Adam, you can't do this. Adam, you're useless at this, whatever it is. And it just comes and comes and comes. And once you start down that rabbit hole of negativity, it's really difficult to try and dig your way out of it. All right. So you're on this journey. There's kind of 2 ways of thinking about this, is compassion and compression. So when you ladies come to me for coaching, I always look at you in 2 different ways. Either you need more compassion or you need more compression. And what I mean by this is compassion, showing you some love, right? Or compression, where you need a kick in the ass. So you need either one or the other. So when I'm talking about compassion is showing yourself some love, right? Maybe you've had a really shit day, or a really shit relationship, or a really shit work, or whatever it is, and you just need to take care of yourself and show yourself some love. But if you've been showing yourself some love for too long and you've become too soft, then we need to switch buckets, and you need some compression. So compression is very different from negativity. Negativity is talking negative to yourself, like, Adam, you look terrible on that, or Adam, you can't do this, or Adam, you're shit at working out, or whatever. Compression is like, Adam, get the fuck out of bed and get to work. Like, there's 2 different ways to look at it. So this week, write down compression and compassion. And I want you to start to differentiate. Do I need some compassion, or have I been too compassionate with myself, too soft with myself? And now do I need to start to be a bit more on point a little bit, right? Kick my own ass a little bit. Because there was some, she's not on the call tonight. I was going to call her out, but she's not on. She's going for surgery tomorrow. So she reached out to me last week, and I won't mention names because she can bring it up later in the group chat, but she reached out, and she was essentially hoping that I would give her some compassion, right? But she'd been given compassion from every coach before and every person before. What she really needed was a kick in the ass, right? Because what often happens is we tend to ourselves too much, and we say, it's going to be okay, we'll get through it, don't worry about it, it's fine, you're doing great, whatever. But sometimes, like I said, we need to switch buckets and go into the compression side of things, right? I spoke about this on my stories this morning on Instagram, saying, for a lot of us, including myself, often what happens when we hit a plateau, or we stay where we're at when it comes to physical or relationships or business or life, it's because we've just been doing our best. Unfortunately, that's only gotten us so far. We need to make sure we're doing what is required. So are you doing what is required for you to go to the next level of your health and fitness? Are you doing what is required to go to the next level of your weight loss? Are you doing what is required to go to the next level of your relationship, of your spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it? All right. So to take a long, hard look at yourself this week and see where you need to put more compassion, and see where you need to put a bit more compression. All right. Make sense? Cynthia, can you talk? What's your takeaway from that?
What if we need compassion and a kick in the ass?
Well, the proof is in the pudding, right? So when I say this, it's what have you been giving yourself that has sort of got you to where you are, and now you're not seeing any movement. And if it's not seeing any movement or any progress, then you need to switch hands. You need to either show a bit more compression or show a bit more compassion. All right. All right. So moving on to number 3. I talk about this all the time as well, is because even though I'm talking about kicking your own ass and making sure that you're getting some work done, we need to make sure that we're celebrating our victories along the way. So when it comes to a triathlon runner or a long distance runner, they're making sure that they're celebrating every mile marker along the way. And this is what I want you ladies to do as well. For some of you, it might not be coming, your pounds might not be coming off every single week, but you're changing your habits, or you're making better choices when it comes to food, or you're getting to bed on time, or you're getting your workouts done, or the inches are changing on your pants, or you're just sleeping better, or you're happier, whatever the case is, right? So this week, what I want you to do is I want you to look back at your journey so far. And I want you to celebrate how far you've come. Often what happens is we get so driven towards the finish line, and we get so determined that we're only going to be happy when we hit that finish line, that we forget about all the little wins that we're stacking along the way. So this is why, obviously, like photos, weigh-ins are really important. You know, if you have any, let's say, fat clothes hanging around, try them on and then donate them, right? See how far you've come. All right, this is one of the coolest things. I think it was Carol that sent me a photo last week of her trying on the same shirt that she used on the first Zoom call, and it looked like she could have put another person in there. And she was like, "I can't believe this was like tight on me," right? And what we forget about this stuff really, really quickly. So make sure you're either rereading your journal or looking back at old photos, or just going back in like Facebook memories, looking at photos. This is one of the coolest things to do. And this is, again, why I tell you all to journal, is because the same person that wrote in that book 6 months ago is going to be a different person today. All right, so this sort of ties into the homework again for the last little bit of today's conversation. Is 1, you're going to do a theater of mind. This is for homework. All right, then what I want you to do is I want you to create a list of personal achievements, things you've accomplished whilst on this program with me. It doesn't matter how small they are. And then I want you to send them to me. And then the third thing is I want you to share your positive affirmations about yourself every single day. So at the end of every day this week, all of you are going to send me 3 positive affirmations about yourself, whether it's got to do with your hair, your height, how you look in those jeans, whatever it is. But 3 positive affirmations about yourself. All right. You got to start somewhere. And often this is the best place to start, because everyone can find at least one thing that they're proud of themselves of, or they like about themselves. All right. Make sense? Good. Good stuff. All right. That is it from me. But do you ladies have any questions or any concerns or anything at all? Sarah, got anything? What's the plan for the week?
Just I got meal prepping and the workouts and a few things to get done for my mother. So
Awesome stuff. Nice. Mel, what you got planned for the week? Either Mel.
I'm gonna have to meal prep because between me and my husband, we've already pretty much killed everything for the week almost after tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to do some more cooking and prepping.
All right.
And be good to go.
Good stuff. Courtney, I know you're in an airport somewhere, so you don't have to talk. That's fine. Steph, what's the plan for the week? This is your first week back on the program.
Yeah, so just getting acclimated again and getting my steps in. I have found that I meal prep, but I don't put them in dishes like separate dishes because I work from home. And so it does better for me if I warm them up, not in a microwave, but on the stove. And so I find it easier. So I just will make a big pile of stuff and put it, in big containers instead of smaller ones. So I
Yeah,
find that was better for me.
perfect stuff. All right, ladies. So your homework, like I said, theater of mind. Then we have positive affirmations, and then your achievements whilst you've been on the program. All right, good, perfect. Okay, good stuff. Before Friday, please. Doing this with you ladies, I can quickly see who was like an A student at school and who was like the last minute student at school. Because some of you are like handing it in the day of or the day after or whatever it is, but it's okay as long as it gets done. All right, good stuff, ladies. Thank you very much. I hope you have an awesome day and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.